Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, November 9, 2022. The national budget for the current 2022-23 fiscal year has been increased by $60 billion, pushing the overall expenditure to $972 billion. The details are contained in the first supplementary estimates of expenditure tabled by Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, in Parliament yesterday. It accounts for additional spending to cushion the impact of the Ukraine-Russia conflict, which sent food and fuel prices surging early in the year, affecting inflation and the wider macroeconomy in Jamaica and globally. In response, a little over $7 billion was allocated for a suite of social interventions to ease inflationary impact on the population. There are also increased allocations to the Ministries of National Security, Economic Growth and Job Creation, Health and Wellness, and Education, as well as to the Jamaica Urban Transit Company to help with its fuel cost and other operating expenses. The largest increase is $21.1 billion set aside for public sector employees under the Compensation Review Program.
Also contributing to this increase, Madam Speaker, is a $2.2 billion amount requested by the Ministry of Health and Wellness to facilitate the payment of salary-related allowances.
Dr. Clark says the new allocations will be financed primarily through an expected $65.5 billion increase in revenue flows.
At the end of September 2022, Madam Speaker, total revenues were $40.4 billion above budget, including $35 billion from tax revenue, and this performance has been factored into the current forecast, which now anticipates total revenue flows of $815.3 billion for the current fiscal year 2022-23, Madam Speaker, which is up on the original forecast.
About 400 households across 11 communities in St. Elizabeth will have access to piped water for the first time after the $130 million new building water supply system was commissioned into service. The system forms part of government's Vale water supply scheme, a $630 million project to reduce water-related challenges in the parish. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Matthew Samuda, says it signals government's commitment to upgrading and delivering quality service to rural communities.
We are ensuring that Jamaicans who live in rural Jamaica are benefiting from the investment of the National Water Commission.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has received a brand new 2022 Toyota Hilux pickup valued at $8.1 million to support activities under the A Jamaican Path from Hills to Ocean Climate Resilience Project. The vehicle, which is courtesy of the European Union Global Climate Change Alliance Plus, was officially handed over at the Ministry's Hope Gardens Playfield in St. Andrew on Tuesday, November 8. Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the ministry will ensure that it is used to go through the difficult terrains that need to be traversed to implement the project.
We are very proud of being partners in this project that is going to help us to really advance climate proofing, for instance, of the Castleton Botanical Gardens in St. Mary, as well as also introducing integrated and sustainable farming systems, climate resilient and adaptable crops, species, and agroforestry to farmers in targeted communities.
A Jamaican Path from Hills to Ocean is partially funded by the European Union Global Climate Change Alliance Plus in the amount of $859.51 million, with the Jamaican government contribution of $192.95 million. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade will be introducing an online portal for the registration of Jamaican nationals who are traveling overseas for short-term stays. The portal is expected to be in operation soon. It will establish a database on Jamaicans' overseas travel and assist in strengthening the country's capacity for an effective response in emergency situations. Portfolio Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith made the announcement during her contribution to the State of the Nation debate in the Senate recently. She says the portal is critical in the face of an increasing number of global emergency situations, such as worsening natural disasters, pandemics, episodes of civil unrest, acts of terrorism, and human trafficking.
An online portal which provides one single database that allows persons' data to also be removed when they set the date of their return is a way in which we can ensure that if there is this type of event once more, we will be able to, and even smaller events, more controlled events, and are controlled and are contacted by family, we will be in a better state to be able to reach out to our people.
Senator Johnson Smith says work on the portal is at an advanced stage. And finally, as government contemplates the future of Vale Royal, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says there are no plans to permanently close or sell the property. Mr. Holness was responding to questions posed by the Member of Parliament for St. Andrews South East, Julian Robinson, in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. He says consideration is being given for provision in the upcoming budget to increase the allocation for preservation of the national monument.
As a first priority, we will be ensuring that all repairs required to ensure that the integrity and decor of the building is maintained. That is our first priority. An assessment has been done, and a proposal for its restoration will guide this work. And we are now reviewing costings, as I've said, at this time.
The Prime Minister says there has been some deterioration in the facade and exterior ceiling work, which has limited the use of the building due to safety concerns. He explains that allocations to Vale Royal were delayed due to priority focus on the management of the COVID-19 pandemic, but says government is now reviewing options presented by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust for its immediate and future use. Among the uses currently being contemplated are the conversion of the property to a library and museum of all prime ministers, the establishment of a protocol house to host state officials and international guests, and use of the property as a venue for events held by the state. The Prime Minister says consultations will be held with residents in the community before a final decision is made. Vale Royal has been recognized as a national monument since 1958 under the Jamaica National Trust Commission Act. The act has since been repealed and replaced by the Jamaica National Heritage Trust Act of 1985. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.